Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 all-time favourite book series. And number 10 is actually Find the Girl by Lucy and Lydia Connell. I actually haven't seen anyone talk about this series. I'm not sure why, because it's actually quite good. It's very quickly, it's a kind of a chick flick, but in a book form. And the main characters are actually twins, and I'm a twin, and I instantly loved it because of that. Also, because both twins are alive at the end of it, which is very, very annoying, by the way. So if you want to read the book of twins in it, keep them both alive, please. It's basically just about these twins, Nancy and Nina. They are polar opposites. They were inseparable when they were younger, but then they're grown up and they're not inseparable anymore. Nancy is the popular one. She's an Instagram star. She's obsessed with this boy band, and Nina is the shy one. She's into music, but she can't bring herself to do music in front of people. She has very, very bad stage fright. Basically, the story starts out with them to go to a concert together, and Nina meeting the guy she's obsessed with, the celebrity she's obsessed with, and basically it creates this media storm. And the hashtag on Twitter, find the girl, with the guy trying to find Nina. It's basically just about sibling relationships, trying keeping secrets from your sisters, and being close once and not being close anymore. And yeah, and the ninth series is actually the first series I ever read, which is Petty Feather by Jacqueline Wilson. I read this first book before ever realizing what a series was until the second book came out, and I was very, very confused. But yeah, this basically is just about the main character, Petty Feather. She's she's an orphan, and the first part of her life, like 10 years, she's raised by this family on a farm, and then when she's 10, she's sent back to the orphanage she was originally from, and it's basically just her trying to find her mother. But yeah, it's very cute. I actually think I'm going to reread this at one point, but I'm not sure when. I have so many other books to read that is unbelievable. And the 8 series is actually the most popular TV adaptation ever done before, which is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin. Basically just the king appoints the main character, Ned Stark, as his hand, and it basically starts from there. A lot of shit goes down in the first book alone. I can't really say anything that isn't a spoiler, but yeah, if you've seen the book, you know everything that happens. But yeah, many different POVs in this book, so if you don't like that, you probably won't like this book. It's a information heavy book, and it's a character heavy book as well. There's a lot of characters, too many characters at some points to keep up with. But yeah, it is good. And if you like fantasy heavy books, you will like this one. Even my friend likes it, and she hates reading. The 7th book is actually Darker Shade of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. It's basically just a book about 3 different Londons, and there's only a certain type of person that can go through, that can visit different Londons. There's grey London, red London, and white London. And the main character is Cal. He's from Red London, and he works for the King and Queen, visiting the other Londons as a correspondent to speak to the other kings and queens for them. The next series is The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. In this, the main character has been told her entire life that she will kill her true love the first time she kisses him. And it's basically it starts out with her seeing his ghost, and it starts from there, and she meets this group of boys from a local private school, and basically one of those guys is actually her true love. It's basically just Blue and these 4 guys doing loads of crazy things together. But yeah, and that is The Raven Boys. One is actually the Arc of His Scythe by Neil Schusterman. I forgot the name of the series then. This is basically it's set in the future, hundreds of years from now, where people can't die. Where when you're old, you can turn back in age, and if you die of any way, if you get in a car crash and you die, if you jump off a cliff and you die, you can be revived. There's no way of dying. There's only one way you can die, and that is from the hands of a scythe. These are people who are appointed to kill people, and that's the only way you can die. And the story is basically just the scythe appointing these two people as apprenticeships, and then to competing against each other to become scythes. I do like the series, but the last one was a bit of a letdown. It wasn't that as entertaining as the other two, but I still did enjoy it very much. Next one is actually the Six of Crows duology. I mentioned this in my top 5 all-time favourite books. Yeah, it's basically just a heist story with the 6 outcasts joining forces to complete a heist, trying to steal back a person that's been kidnapped. Very character-driven story, and if you like that, you will enjoy this very much. That's not me saying there's no plot to it, because there is, but the plot is more at the end of the book. But yeah, it is a really good book. Next one is Harry Potter. I'm not going to say anything about that. Everyone knows why. And the next one is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This one is one of the newer book series in the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles series. And this is the Emma series. We meet Emma actually in the Mortal Instruments series, the last one in Mortal Instruments. And this is her 5 years later. She's now 17 years old, and it's her trying not to fall in love with her Parvati, which is, you can't fall in love with Parvati. We don't know why until like the end, until like the 3rd book in this series. But they can't fall in love with each other. They're not allowed to. But she's trying very hard not to. And that's not the only thing that happens in this book. There's also a cult that's going around murdering people, and they're trying to find out who the leader of this cult is so they can stop it once and for all. Yeah, and my all-time favourite book series is Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. And this is actually the series that got me into reading YA fantasy. I was still reading Jacqueline Wilson at this point, and then the movie came out and the book came out, and I just picked up, didn't know why, I saw the movie trailer and I thought, that looks cool, so I got the book first, because in my family you have to read the book before you watch the film, you have to. So yeah, I got the book, I read the book, and I fell in love with it. So yeah, it's basically very nostalgic for me. There are some icky bits in it that I try to ignore, so I try to ignore the second book as much as possible. But yeah, the series as a whole is very, very good, in my opinion. Anyway, that's the last of them. If you enjoyed this video, please comment down below your top book series of all time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!